Our next best of 5, and it's a hype one. It's Bunny versus Snute, a Team Liquid team kill here in the round of 8. As, oh my god, we do have those bottom horizontal positions, and over to the left-hand side as our blue Terran representing Team Liquid, it is Bunny. And over the other side of the map, it's his ally, but today that's not going to be the case. In the red, also representing Team Liquid, it is Snute.
Bunny definitely gonna be on the happy side of things of getting these spawns, but I mean, surely Snute knew this was a possibility. He's gonna wanna look to adjust himself. These two are actually, maybe not lately, but for some time, they were practicing a lot against each other. When Snute was trying to fix his versus Terran, they played a lot of games. And you know, when you're teammates like this, it's not very uncommon to do that. On the contrary, and this means that, you know, a lot of the decisions that we're gonna see in this series, they're gonna be, you know, coming from all the history that these two have together. And Snute, he opened with an extractor here first, which is gonna follow it obviously with the pull here. So looking to rush for that speed here on this map.
Yeah.
You know, not only to be safe, but possibly to try and make something happen. Man, every time I see this map in TVZ, and in particular with these spawns, I get flashbacks of Live versus Maru at in Taipei.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I can remember that all too well. That series was ridiculous to cast, such a high-level one. But Snute, you know, with the gas first, it's going to alleviate the pressure of the Reapers a whole lot. And on a map that can be notorious for those very early aggressive moves here from Terran to then cause a lot of havoc, this is, I think, a really good choice here for Snute. Once speed is done, and it's going to be done earlier, then he will be fine.
And when I say I'm getting flashbacks of that series of Maru vs. Life, I think you know what moment I mean, right?
Oh, yes.
The run by.
Yeah, I do.
The run by the wall and the hole in the wall, which was very sad for Maru, but very happy thoughts here for Life. So Snute, you know, he's a very, very good player overall. If he was to, you know, try and go into a regular game here, which is kind of what I expect, like you don't really Snute all in all that much. I don't think that the close position here is going to make him desperate enough to try for something. Then again, it's definitely not impossible. One of the big questions here for me is going to be whether Snute tries or not to go into the swarm host that we've seen, you know, we've seen him try and make work time after time. And sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't.
Well, and this Reaper does jump in. The Queen's already out there to deal with that, and speed is halfway complete. Bunny should have been able to read into this with the little scout he got, knowing that there is the potential that that gas was a little bit earlier than before. That being said, though, you know, with the gas already mined at 100, he might under-anticipate what is going on. So if he does get caught off guard here by these speedlings wrapping around, then he's going to be losing these Reapers pretty early. I feel like he's sticking around for way too long here now.
When Snute tried to go for Swarmos against top Terrans, most of the time he lost, like against the very best ones of them out there, and Bunny's definitely one of those guys. So if he was to go for that, he's gonna have to definitely execute that better than usually. Bunny's, he kept his third Reaper back at home, I guess, maybe in case, you know, some Zerglings were to go there.
Yeah, he knew speed was finishing up there, so it was right on the cusp of him knowing that speed was going to finish up. So no point really moving out with that Reaper.
Yeah.
And sitting back at home and sitting pretty for now.
Still going for the third CC here, obviously. Gonna want to take the third base, you know, ASAP. And we're gonna start a starport. Yes, here we go.
Well, Link's poked forwards. They see the Reapers that are still lurking around at the back, so they can't really do a whole lot out the front there. Snute, for now, knows a good indication as to what his opponent's up to. He hasn't really seen much in the base, but with the fact that there wasn't actually anything at the natural, he's anticipating a command center in base. But from then on, he's got to find out that it's the third command center over a bit more heightened aggression.
Yeah, Snute has seen absolutely nothing this game in terms of, you know, what Bunny's going for. And I think he's going to go for a Viking, right? To, you know, start killing some overlords everywhere. No, actually, he wants to go for a Banshee directly, so I would have liked to see a Viking, man.
Yeah?
I just love killing overlords. It's so gratifying.
Well, this little army that Bunny is building up does gather some momentum. The Banshee, coupled with this small task force, can cause some problems.
No second gas, so no gas for Cloak. And I'm guessing, you know, he's either going to go into the double eBay or add 2 more barracks before. Here in a moment, Bunny, who's already on a 3rd CC that's about to be morphed into an orbital.
And the hold here for Snute so far is completely fine. So it's going to be all about the Banshees very, very soon, as Snute has to anticipate what's going to go on at the front. This small force for Bunny just pokes forward, sees that the Spinecrawler is rerouting and getting in a good position. Roach speed on the way, though, for Snute.
Snute, I know him as a Ling Bane Muta kind of guy, you know. I haven't seen him play too many Roaches, so going for this here, you think maybe there's a bust in the works here?
Maybe.
On this map and in these positions, going for something like, you know, a Roach Bane all-in?
Maybe. There's 9 Roaches at the moment. They can be used for the defensive purposes here. And the Queens are moving back to defeat this Banshee whenever it moves in.
Yeah.
So, noticeably, you know, despite not having too much information on his opponent, at least he didn't overcommit to the point where he would have gone for Spore Crawlers against a cloak that just doesn't exist, right? So he's defending really well with Queens and cutting that corner, making sure his economy is in proper check.
Snute made an Overseer back at home, but he still hasn't scouted really anything of Bunny. Like, he saw the natural orbital command, that's it. Nothing else. He has no idea, you know, that's behind this. The 3rd CC is already up. I mean, can't kind of guess. It would have been nice to see, you know, that there was additional barracks made before Bunny went into double eBay, so that he knows there's going to be, you know, delayed upgrades, but more units at first.
Well, finds another route in, will kill himself off 1 or 2 of these extra drones. So not too bad here for Bunny, but Snute is climbing in supply. He's got a lot of Roaches at the moment, and I don't know whether or not they've been scouted here. It's been very, very difficult for him to actually spot a whole lot of that, but that is a ton of Roaches. And during all of this, he's only got that 1 Banshee at the back. He doesn't really have that many units to actually fend this off. He's only got Marines, no tanks, no extra Banshee.
64 army supply to 27. This attack is going to hit, and it's going to hit hard, and with 3 more overlords on the way, Snute could make even more units behind this if he wants to reinforce.
And you know what? The Banshee died off at the back as well, so even if you needed that to come back for the defense, it's not going to be there at all because it is dead. Lings are going to flood on forwards. These Roaches pushing forwards as well. With the carapace upgrade, GG, it's just done just like that. He had nothing, absolutely 0 to deal with that. And Snute decides to take a very swift 1-0.
Looks a little bit emotional too. Probably can be very happy about it. That was an insane timing. 10 minutes 20 he hit with a massive amount of Roaches. There was just a very few units out here for Bunny, and he just died right out. He didn't even bother staying in the, you know, in the game, trying to hold with, you know, just a few SCVs alive and then come back.
He did well to keep it in the shadows, keep it hidden, and then the carapace upgrade being hidden as well. I mean, to Bunny, seeing 1 evolution chamber can be, well, oh, okay, you're just going for a weapons upgrade. But getting armor on Roaches against an opponent that you are keeping the Roaches hidden away from, and then he's probably only going to have Marines on the other side, those Marines are going to have a really difficult time of ever shutting down Roaches with that kind of armor. So, very, very well orchestrated, very tricky little build there out of Snute on a map that generally is not going to favor him, but obviously we saw how he did. He just turned that completely around.
I was thinking about the timing the whole time, actually. Like, even though he had an Evo chamber here, Snute going into Roaches like this, I don't think he will ever do that unless he's obligated to, which usually means he's obligated to do it either for defense or for offense. Maybe sometimes a little bit of both. And in this case, you know, he was just starting to pump out Roaches, and I was like, well, I'm pretty sure he's going to go for a timing. And in this case, didn't choose to try and go, you know, for like Roach juggling Baneling, which I do think would have hit later. With the short rush distance, if you get this many Roaches, you just cross the map instantly. If you're able to hide those, well, Terran's not going to have the bunkers to deal with this. He's not going to have the tanks. And in this case, that's exactly what happened. He surprised Bunny completely with this attack. There was no way this bunker was going to get repaired against this insane amount of Roaches. And he just died instantly.
And now we make ourselves scoot on over to Vani Research Station for game number 2, as Bunny really needs to bring it back now. If he loses this, there is the potential against a teammate like Snute that he goes on tilt. After that kind of loss, you know, you brush it to the side and you say, right, okay, that was hidden for a little while there. But anyway, let's get into game number 2 between Team Liquid and Team Liquid, Bunny and Snute. At the moment, Snute is 1 game up here, looking to move on to the semi-finals. As we have spawning up to the north, it is our blue Terran representing Team Liquid It is Bunny. We know he can play better than that. Just didn't have all the information available to him. And spawning down to the south as our red Zerg, also representing Team Liquid, it's Snute.
Team Liquid with another massive performance, by the way, in this tournament.
Yeah.
4 players in the round of 16. 3 of them out of 4 made it to the top 8. This is ridiculous. One of them was already eliminated, sadly, for TLO, but one of them here will at least make it to the semifinals. And I mean, they just play well tournament after tournament. It's actually insane the level of consistency that these guys have across all the tournaments that they play in. But he's gonna go for Rax 12 here, so no kind of, you know, command center for shenanigans on this map.
Right.
Gas 12 behind this.
Yeah, just wants to make sure that he can have those Reapers out and straight on forwards behind this. Snute, though, on this map, might happily go for a hatchery first here. He has a lot of money available to him, and he does send that drone on down towards that natural to take that hatchery first. But it does leave you a little bit more vulnerable, of course, to those Reapers.
Yeah.
He still has good control, though, and should be able to save the majority of his drones.
I'm excited for this map. I'm expecting a standard game here. No, you know, no roach all in and no surprises. Just a straight up, you know, bio against Mutaling, Baneling.
Yeah.
Maybe Swarmost on this map.
Maybe. A proper slugfest is what you're really expecting here between these two.
A proper slugfest.
Yep.
Exactly.
All that viewing of World Wrestling Federation in the past is coming along. A proper slugfest, a slobber knocker, as I can't remember what his name was, would say. One of the commentators. Jim Ross. Jim Ross. I think he's dead now. Anyway.
Wow, getting a little bit carried away.
No. He was one of the most fantastic people of all time. He was so enthusiastic.
Kind of like you when you cast.
Kind of. Sometimes. Wait a minute, what? All right, well, Reapers are on the way now. He's going to go down here to throw down that command center at the natural base, which is also easy to take on Vanny Research Station. I believe that, Snute should be well ready for the Reapers that are going to be coming along. As I said, shouldn't be losing any drones here. Has the second extractor to take it if he needs it to save those drones if they get weakened.
Yeah, Snute's going to have to make sure he doesn't lose any of those here.
Ooh, very close. Whoa, very, very close.
Yeah, we see, very standard build so far by Bunny. Just wouldn't be surprised if once again he went into the third command center and then on barracks and then went for E-base. The first few minutes of most TVZs, as long as they are played standard, never really vary all that much. He got 1 run. Not bad. Not bad. No, normally you shouldn't be able to get that, especially with just 1 Reaper. Move away from the Queen. And here comes another Reaper to just jump on in. It's going to hop on out again because there is that Ling presence. There will be speed on the way. 3rd Queen is going to be added on. And from that point, he can get that creep spreader going. Yeah, and we all know how Snute can creep spread at times, Very, very scary with that. Bunny definitely going to be trying to slow that down, with the Hellions and Reapers that he's going to get in this game.
Interesting economy management from Snute, who has actually left just 1 guy in gas. And normally you see him pull 3 out and just get that going. But he goes back into gas a bit quicker than I was expecting, actually, here. Maybe he does have roaches on the mind once again. But we'll see. This game is still in the early stages. As a 3rd Reaper. Oh, he's doing that build again where he goes for the 3rd command center, adds on the 3rd Reaper, and couples it for the pressure at the front. It's very, very strong. It does give you a lot of tanking potential.
Speed finally finished, and with the lair starting here, I'm thinking 2-base Mutas opener. Most likely. He needs to be adding extra gases soon if he wants to do that. And I mean, if you open like that against the build of Bunny, then you're going to have a lot of mobility at first, but you're going to be delaying your upgrades. We've seen, actually, I think it's Life who's been doing a lot of that. Recently versus Terran, like opening 2-base Mutas and then going into later upgrades, but just having such a scary map presence out on the map with the Mutas when you have somebody like Life or Snute's control, you're going to be able to slow down your opponent, his economy, force turrets out early, be safe back at home, because Mutas, they can shut down Medivacs very well.
Oh, that was ambitious. He's going to focus down some of those Hellions.
This spine was late.
They are going to end up falling. thing though, Snute has left his door open.
Lings are coming
12
out.
Lings on the way, but these Hellions and Reapers are going to get quite a bit done. I was going to say I thought Snute would be happy with the opening that he's chosen to stay on these two bases, but he did not respect these units at all here from Bunny. And with that third Reaper that was able to tank up a little bit at the front, he's finally going to get cleaned up, but he got 9 workers for that. And disrupted a lot of mining time.
It's not bad, but he lost most of those units, and that means that now, if Snute wants to, you know, expand, take a third base a little bit faster, he could do that and have map control at the same time with the links that he still has out on the map. Why does this keep on working? Like, this is like a small ramp.
I don't know,
I guess
man.
I'm Protoss, so I picture a force field going down and nobody being able to go up. But against Zerg,
Well,
I've seen so many Hellions already, you know, from 4GG just going up there and just wrecking the economy of the Zerg.
He was really trying to cut corners to get this Spire tech going as quickly as possible. With all of this being said and done, as I said, he left that one on gas and then back into 3 very, very quickly to quite get that up to that layer just as fast as possible. And as I said, I thought Snute was going to be happy with that build decision, but he really didn't respect that. And now his third is on the way.
He was a little bit panicked here. He made a bunker. What does this bunker remind you of?
Well, yeah.
His bunker yesterday on this map against Haz, man, where he was a little bit panicked.
Yeah, I guess. Well, the thing is that when he
Double
went
expand,
in,
man.
Oh, wow.
This is something very specific to Snute, too. I remember, I just got this flashback once again. Back in the Star Station days, Snute was the guy who was taking, you know, the 4th base around the watchtower in the middle of the map. He was always taking that one very, very fast for Terran, basically saying, you're going to need to be attacking into me very, very soon. And usually he had enough banelings to hold anything that was being thrown at him. His production has always been great, especially when you let him rush to a lot of workers. But right now in workers, we're at 54 SCVs against 44 drones. So something's gonna have to happen here soon for Snute to basically catch back up in this. And by that I'm picturing, you know, him trying to at least get a few kills on some SCVs, and behind this, drone up enough to catch up with this, but not too much that he would die against the upcoming attack. Because right now in terms of army, I mean, we have a lot of Marines already on the map and not really that many Zerglings. And he remember, he has to catch up in upgrades as well. Double Evo started, but one's about to finish here for Bunny already.
Well, maybe if he can keep the Terran on the back foot with the Mutalisks, he can try and drone up during all of this period of time. But there are missile turrets already well available here for Bunny.
Snute sees Zerglings, he's getting 6 more drones, but right now Bunny's moving across the map with a lot of Marines and 2 medivacs. This is looking so scary. Centrifugal hooks starts only now, and back at home, only 11 Zerglings here for Snute.
That's quite a strong force. Quite a strong force without the
just
support
gonna
of his mutas. And that one spine crawler, I mean, the Lings are going to die at the front. He's going to kill off the spine crawler. The banelings are extremely vulnerable. Snute has really under-anticipated the power that we're going to see here of Bunny in game number 2, where the drones are going to go down. And Snute is falling apart here in the second game.
He already lost so much. Even if he was to hold this here, we'd be in a really bad position, but I don't even think he's going to be able to do really too much against these Marines for quite some time. He needs all of the Zerglings and banelings to come out. Morphing those, they're halfway through done. Those Banes are halfway through done. The
GG, game number 2 goes to Bunny, really making a fight out of it because that was well executed by him. A bit of a misread by Snute to be as lackluster in the defense at the very beginning of that compared to where you would normally see him at. But regardless, Bunny takes the opportunity to bring it back here in this series.
Losing those initial 9 drones really weakened his economy a lot. Actually, you know, it's funny because after he killed the Hellions, I mentioned that, you know, not only Snute was going to get map control, but he could take, you know, a third shortly before that. But at the same time, when your drone count goes as low as it did here, and he also lost some mining time because he had to pull some drones from mining, your economy is not going to be good enough to not only start saturating another base very well, and at the same time get the mutas that you need to get, because, well, I mean, you open fast muta to some extent, or mutas on 2 base. So going for the double hatch, like, I guess I highly disagree with this choice here in this game. Like, it definitely wasn't the right choice for Snute. Way too risky, and he got punished for it.
All right, well, tying it up 1-1. Happy to see Bunny is going to make quite the battle here against his teammate and not fall under the pressure. He was a little bit unhappy last night with the draw, obviously, that they got. So now keeping himself in it. Happy to hear on Twitter as well that one of my heroes, Jim Ross, is not deceased. So thank you very much for that, guys.
Wow.
Well, I mean, yeah. But as I say, one of the legends of commentary. There's a few of them. Look up to a lot of them.
Oh, who are the other ones?
There is a darts commentator that I'm thinking of, and actually he is deceased, but he was one of the greatest commentators of all time. Can't quite remember his name. But I watched an entire documentary on him, and he was brilliant. But anyway.
Catalina as next map here. I feel like at this point, is it even worth mentioning who it's good for? Like, first map was supposed to be good for Bunny. He lost in just 12 minutes to a nice all-in. I'm always thinking about whether you should be saying all-in or timing now. Because it was like a very precise, like 12 minutes 20 he hit with like a lot of roaches.
Yeah.
And to some extent it was all-in. Everybody disagrees about exactly what all-in means. There's like a lot of discussion about this.
That's true.
Any timing that kills someone, and that if it wouldn't work, puts you behind.
I remember.
All-in.
I remember in the foreign scene, us as fans, if they see a foreigner do it, it's an all-in. But if they see a Korean do it, it's timing. There you go. All right, let's get into game number 3 here between Bunny and Snute as we go on to Catalina to figure out who is going to be moving on to the round of 4. This is serious business. And I've just remembered the dart player's commentator's name. It's Sid Waddell, who was fantastic. All right.
Introduce the players, please.
So let's get into it. Down to the bottom right-hand corner, it is our blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Bunny. And up to the north, a privilege to be able to cast this Team Liquid team kill with 2 fantastic players in the mix. Also representing Team Liquid, it is Snute.
Going into this match, Bunny is up 7-1 in series against Snute, but he lost yesterday 0-2 against Kane. Like, I didn't really know what to make of this, and then I was like thinking this probably should be kind of close. And so far, even though the games have been decently one-sided, it's 1-1. So
yeah, I
guess score-wise it's been close, but really very one-sided map wins though. Like, the first game he hit with the roach timing, Bunny instantly leaves. And in that last game, well, Bunny went for the ball moves. He knew he probably could counter or just attack. Like, he would have been happy with, any kind of muta counter, because obviously there was never going to be enough to kill the turrets and then do damage, and he had those back at home. So, worst comes to worst, he would have had to pick up and thrust her away, but didn't even get to.
You're totally right. There's been no middle ground in those 2 games. There has been no middle ground. There's just been Snute dominates, Bunny dominates. Next map. So, Catalina, pretty good map actually for Bunny to do similar things. Just go for a similar build. He'd be quite happy with that. Maybe even I'm kind of surprised he didn't go down the refinery route to actually have some of those Reapers get out there. But
he's breaking the trend, man.
Yeah, and Snoop's going to see it very quickly.
The old school, or is he though? Well, I guess seeing the Marine is enough.
Yeah,
it's actually turning.
Didn't want to go too. That's actually very surprising.
This is so cool.
I didn't show him where he was spawning.
He would have died if you would have gone a little bit further.
Yeah, but now this also leaves Bunny in the dark. And even if it was, the thing is that you leave him in the dark, and if it was a Reaper opener and seeing the Overlord, yes, he would go straight up to the top, and that's what Snoop's probably anticipating. But now, obviously, those Marines.
I feel like so many Zergs, they would have sent it in saying, well, it's Catalina. Of course, he's going Reaper. She's not going to have Marines. And Bunny might have played this mind game here a little bit, there's a good chance he's gone for this, to basically catch the first Overlord, kill it, and then from there, kind of start pulling ahead from very early on, throw Snute off his game, annoy him a little bit early on. But it hasn't worked. Snute is too smart for that, man.
Oops. Request for a pause here by Snute.
Remember, it's Snute Skywalker we're talking about. He felt a disturbance in the Force and pulled his Overlord back.
With the Force. He actually drags it back, he puts his hand out, and he doesn't even touch his keyboard, he commands the Overlord to come back and it moves.
Why did I make a Star Wars reference with a nerd like you?
Exactly. If you let it go, man, it's just going to keep going. All right. I'll rein myself in again. Nothing needs to get as silly as yesterday. But Bunny and Snute at the moment, just deliberating over. It seems that Snute had a problem with his in-ears, and we'll be getting back into this pretty soon. But at least Snute did not lose that overload. That's of the utmost importance.
Yeah, he's going to need it to scout the refineries, actually, because since Bunny went for double refineries before this, obviously he's going to want to rush, a factory, possibly even go into something like a Banshee, sometimes with Cloak. So lots of possibilities out there still for our Terran player, whereas Snute, he went for the decently safe hatch gas pull, so speed's already on the way.
The factory is being added on here with the reactor going down, so Hellions, there's the potential. Oh, actually, now that I look at it, with the gas that he's got coming in, could he go into an armory with this and try Hellbats?
Yeah, possibly. He's doing 2+2 right now, Bunny. He's not doing 3+3. If he had been doing 3+3, I would have said maybe, Banshee with Cloak, but he's not going to need that much gas to go into, something else.
I mean,
Snute expands a little bit more towards Bunny, rather than going, for the other expansion they could have gone for.
The thing is if he did go off for armor, he's got to be careful, because that Overlord actually continued to survive. He's throwing the starport down, actually, at the back, but the Overlord has swung all the way around after surviving.
The force.
And it may see it. So those disturbances, Todd, the ripples.
I'm pretty sure he's going to see it, which is a massive big deal, because then he can see whether there is a tech lab on it or not, which I don't think there's going to be a tech lab on it.
He's going to be just...
I think he's going to want to get either a Viking or a Medivac first.
The thing
Probably
is,
a Viking on this map.
He's positioned himself so well to just poke in, and even if he didn't see anything, the armor is going to go down as well. Oh, this is very
Medivac
cool.
Then, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I was, after seeing the gas intake, I was thinking armory for ages.
He might see both.
Yeah, he will.
Might see both the starport and the armory, which would be absolutely massive here.
Oh, he's just got to go an inch further with that Overlord down to the bottom.
The thing is, he doesn't have a Roach Warren on the way. All he's going to be able to make, is Queens, Spines, and Zerglings.
And one Spine alone is not going to help out a huge amount against a big wave of Hellbats.
This Overlord is just right outside the starport. He's not seeing it right now. The sooner you see it, the earlier you can start preparing. Snute has some very nice Overlord placement all around his main, by the way, to spot any kind of drop hitting him. But
and that's what it's going to be, right? I mean, he has the potential with even Marines on the way to actually go for the drop with the Marines. It's going to be that, and he pokes in now and sees that the starport is complete, but over to the left-hand side, the armory is very, very important as well. I think he's going to go all the way.
Yeah, he's going to see it here momentarily, but it's already very late. The Hellbats are up in front of his base. They're even going to catch the Queens.
Oh, and they're off creep. Before that creep actually extends forwards with that creep chewer, he gets himself one Queen kill, marches on forwards. There are a few to help on out against all of this. The Medivac healing up against these Hellbats at the front, tanking the damage here that is available to them. But here come more Hellions. He's got 28 Lings on the way, all need to conjoin here at the front. Losing these Queens is going to have a massive blow on his production, with 7 drones already going down, extra Hellbats on the way. All the Lings are kind of coming out sporadically and taking this engagement a little bit at a time. And this is a great position there for Buddy to actually force himself into that small choke point.
Oh my God, how many kills did these get?
Snute might just die. Snute might just die. These Hellbats are doing so much.
No amount of Lings seems to be enough for these Hellbats here. Already lost 11 drones. He's going to lose a few more here.
And he's killed all the Queens off. The follow-up is Banshees with Cloak. Drones come off the line again here to try and deal with this, but eventually it will get cleaned up. But can he deal with the follow-up?
I mean, at this point, Snute I don't even know why he's starting 1-1 here. He needs more drones, and there's just really not much he can do. Cloak started. There's Banshee about to come out. Like, this is just going to go from bad to worse. He's getting a Spark Crawler on the third base. Well, guess what? You only got 27 drones against 45 SCVs. Bunny looking fantastic here on this game on Catalina.
That's big damage after Snute said easy win last night. I think Bunny went back. There you go, GG. Bunny went back to the hotel and apparently said, no, my friend, I don't care if you're my teammate. I am going to be the one going to the round of 4, because at the moment, whoa, Snute looks a bit distraught and shattered by that. He didn't have the information available. The Overlord was in the prime position to get the scout out on what he needed to see, but he just wasn't able to get there.
Yeah, just had to move that a little bit. And I mean, if he had seen it early, like if he had seen the armory as it started, he would have had time to prepare so much defense. So much defense. He would have been able to, make Queens, go for Spines, go for more Lings. I don't think you have time to go for Roaches if you haven't started the Roach turn yet, or somehow, you know, weren't planning for it. But even maybe, I don't know, like, this is just like a sad way to lose, you know, this close to spotting both the armory and the thing is, he already know too that this was the mistake because he ended up spotting it just way too late.
Yeah. As they're morphing in at the front, he sees the armory at the same time as the Hellbat's morphing in, which is a tricky spot to be in. But for now, 3 games deep in this best-of-5 tournament series. Let's head over to the analysis desk to hear what the boys have to say.
Thank you very much, Kalaris. Welcome to the expert desk for a little halftime break in between this series. Fenner, you've been watching every game very closely.
Yes. 2 big mistakes from Snute in the last 2 games. It's basically come down to Queens not being in the right positions. The second game on Vani, he went in, the Hellions came in, they got past the Queens, killed a bunch of drones. He can't really come back from that at this level of play. And then the next game, Hellbats come along, Queens are just slightly off creep.
Yeah, it's really silly. It's like unnecessary mistakes. I would almost even say unforced errors. Of course, it's a good build by Bunny. But in game number 2 on Vani, you know, the spike crawler was a little bit late, but Snute should identify that immediately. Like, he was taking a lot of damage on these 2 queens, but those things were the only thing that was fighting for him. That's the moment where you should probably run back. Let him work on the spine crawler, because at least then you're buying time for your Zerglings. Now he just lost both queens, and on that point, Bunny just pretty much wins the game. I do want to compliment Bunny for not running back for the Mutalisk. Instead, identifying like, hey, I did so much economic damage early on, kill a couple of SCVs, I don't care. I got like 20 stim Marines over here, and there is no way that you have Mutalisk and have enough at home to deal with all these Marines, and he just wins the game.
Why are these mistakes creeping in such an important series for Snute?
I mean, you have the pressure that kind of comes on top of this. It's not just fighting for that top 4 place in WCS. He's up against his teammate. There's the added pressure of representing not just his team, but who's the best foreigner? Who's the best European player? The pressure seems to be mounting in these aggressive builds. Snute is just not very comfortable versus them.
Are we seeing any mind games come to fruition here, both being teammates? Is this maybe the reason why we're seeing these aggressive builds coming out from Bunny, knowing that Snute does cut these corners? Is this kind of an element in this series at all, or should we disregard this?
I mean, sort of, but at the end of the day, like, as a 2-base Zerg, you're really not supposed to take that much damage that he did. Like, Fanny, you play Zerg. If you go 2-base, you go 2-base because it's easier to defend, which makes it just a lot more okay for you to have a couple of units, and then you just put a little bit in economy, and you know you're not spreading drones out over 3 bases. You don't have to defend all those locations.
Yeah.
So the one thing that you have to do is just make sure that you're safe at the front. And, you know, mind games or no mind games, like, that's just not supposed to happen if you play 2-base Zerg.
Yeah.
So
One thing I noticed as well is after the first game where Snute won, the expression on his face. Yesterday when he was joking about it, he's like, haha, this is going to be an easy series. But after that first series, after the win, you'd think he'd be happy. But he like leaned back and went like this. It's like there's a lot of pressure on there. Wasn't comfortable in this scenario. So I think it might be a lot more difficult for him than he thinks, or he's been showing at least.
All right, well, thank you very much, guys. Going to head back to the commentary team to see if Snute can really tighten this up, because one more mistake, one more misclick, and it's over. This is a very important match for him.
Daybreak, our 4th map in this best of 5.
They're doing.
Did I say Daybreak?
You did.
Deadwing is our map here for this best of 5 in game number 4, as Snute and Bunny will face off against one another once again. And Snute needs to rein it in, man. He needs to actually bring this back, because the way he's playing right now is not really the Snute we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, from both of them, we're seeing very unusual games, and the expert panel raised a very good point of, you know, talking about how nervous both of these players might be, you know, seeing as how they are both considered the best foreigners. They're meeting this far in the tournament.
Yeah.
But another thing is the history that they have. They practice a lot together, and it kind of feels like so far they're really trying to counter what they expect out of each other, you know, as opponents in this series from all the games that they've played together before in practice. That's why you're seeing such an unusual game, which is not a very uncommon thing to happen when 2 teammates meet in a tournament.
All right, well, we're getting into it. It's going to be game number 4 now, as Bunny is 1 game away from the round of 4. What a performance from him so far. Likewise, Snute has had a great tournament, but it's do or die now for our Zerg. As we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, it's our blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Bunny. 1 more win. And up to the top right-hand corner, cross positions here on Deadwing. As our red Zerg, it is Liquid Snute.
Maybe it's finally time for a more standard game here on Deadwing cross map, which, I mean, what I've heard from most Terrans and Zergs is that it kind of favors the Zerg, or at least, you know, they really like to be in this position up against Terran. So we'll see how this develops here for a Snute who, I hope for him, is not getting too rattled by what happened, you know, in the previous 2 games. He's actually going to scout for 2 racks here with the drone very early on. He's going to go and check that one location, you know, where most Terrans would go for it.
Yeah.
Sadly for him, not going to find it. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you can say sadly, maybe happily. Are you that happy when you scout 2 racks? I guess you have a much better chance at defending it, but
Yeah, at least
sometimes you'll still lose to it.
And then goes cross spawn straight away to find out if Bunny is over there, just to make sure he is well aware. I mean, the Overlord is moving down to the bottom right anyway to spot that location, so the drone moving across will be able to find that wall off, and now from here on out, anticipate, because he already, if he sticks around at least, we'll see the fact that that gas has been taken.
Yeah. I want to see a standard game, man. I want to see some Link Bane Muta, some 4 base play, a lot of upgrades and all that. I want to see the Slugfest.
Slugfest. Well, he did not go further in to see any kind of gas, so this drone from here on out is playing things a little more blind. He is expecting Reapers, though, of course, to end up just pushing across
at
the
least
map.
one.
Yeah.
It's been very popular to get more than one, but sometimes I guess you can still go for just the one. But usually,
generally,
more often than not, it's at least 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 3. And so far, Bunny is really shown that he likes to get the 3. But as I say that, he goes for the has move.
All right, then.
Gets a reactor.
Yeah, so just really kind of starting to crank things out very, very quickly here with that command center already down at the natural on spot. More importantly, because obviously big map, not likely that we're going to see Snute put on some huge aggression at the beginning here, unless he was to try and sneak around with a few lings. There's 4 on the way, but these are designed primarily to push away the Reaper first, and then make sure that the Queens can have some time to pop.
Yeah. I mean, it's very straightforward for now. Again, I fully expect Bunny, you know, to throw down that 3rd command center, you know, plate as he usually would. Whereas for Snute here, he's probably going to be a lot more comfortable, you know, on this map and in these positions to take a 3rd base, start saturating it, and be ready to defend, you know, anything that could be thrown at him. The overlords actually that he has, you know, sending up to possibly scout around Bunny's base are still pretty far right now, but they should be around it on time.
Oof.
2 scouts.
Very quick transfer for drones down, and that Queen popped out at just the right moment to get a few more hit points off, but not enough for the kill.
12 hit points. The 3rd command center already started, and the starport is going to go down pretty quick here as well for Bunny.
Interesting that he didn't put that factory onto that reactor then whilst he was switching those over.
Yeah.
That might even be a little... I guess
If he can go Marine, we don't mind, and then do a drop, maybe?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
It's common against Protoss, but against Zerg, I haven't really seen that.
Well, he's already playing very defensively. He's getting a bunker at the front here as well. Sees that drone transferring.
Bunny's not using his factory at all right now. Or, I mean, he's using it by getting a starport. I saw a tech lab being made of the factory, so he's going to skip on Hellions. Oh, those links at the natural. Gonna catch the Marines. That's
nice.
pretty cool.
Yeah, the server dual purpose after. Oh, that's around. Oh, very well done to pick up that extra Marine, making sure it can't get in that bunker. A 3rd one ends up falling. He's gonna get himself an SCV as well. So the drone that died off to the Reaper at the back has been made up for well by these lings.
Bunny's going for a tank.
Is gonna drop it behind the rock.
Is he going for the Nathaniel's build from Legacy of the Void, where you drop some tanks?
I mean, kinda. Well, and the spine crawler's going down behind that. He sees what's going on with that Ling that poked on forward, so it was very important that he was actually able to get there, and that spine crawler will be positioned to work on that. But another Marine, and he's forced the Marine out of that bunker, tries to get the wraparound very, very close there.
Yeah, he's gonna go for, you know, the Medivac drop behind the natural mirror line where you try and snipe, you know, that extractor, a few walkers, prevent them from ending. But Snute already has a spine crawler going up there. The thing is, he hasn't started working on those debris yet. I don't know that a spine crawler here is going to be enough. Tanks are going to be able to siege, snipe it. It's going to force the uproot on the spine, pull it back. Snute needs to start working on this.
Yeah, the Queens need to actually start working on it with
here
that
we go.
Spine Crawler as well. They were a little bit lackluster about it. The one Queen at the third base could have started as well, though. And here comes the push. SCV's coming along with that siege tank to repair it if it gets a few shots off on against it.
Yeah, Bunny, we've seen what he can do, you know, when he can do any kind of economic damage. And then behind this macro perfectly, remember, he already has his third CC up. He's going to throw down additional barracks. E-base are probably going to follow. It's going to be very important for Snute that he minimizes the damage taken here.
Chooses the third base location instead of the rocks, realizing they've probably been worked on anyway. Gets himself an Overlord to start things off at least. And there is that little SCV helping on out.
Well, the Queen's there. You can't shoot.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough spot. I think he just wants to make sure that the medevac can't go forward, so he can't hit the...
They are tanking the tank.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And he's going to pick up pretty much everything and get out of there. One of the Marines, as well as the SCV, did end up falling. But double engineering bay behind this. His buddy didn't really put all his eggs in one basket, and will continue on this game further.
Lair finally starts here for Snute, shortly after 2-2, 1-1 did. And, I mean, Snute has been able to drone up to some extent comfortably this game. He's defended well, but right now he's actually a little bit out of position here. He's gonna have to run back with the Zerglings. He's gonna move a spine there.
That spine crawler is actually in range of it, so the tank will move back slightly and then siege up again.
This is doing way too much here right now. Why aren't the Lynx going up there? There is only one tank and nothing else. And right now the Hellions are gonna rejoin that and defend against that tank. So now all of a sudden Snute at a time he would like to be making drones. Oh my god, that medevac.
And there's a lot of Hellions actually killing off all of those Lings there that were poised to maybe try and go and deal with that tank up at the top. The Spine Crawler is going to take quite a bit of damage while burrowing, and even getting some of the creep tubers here is good, but that's a lot of Lings. He's got to be very wary.
The spine's gonna fall.
Wow. Tank's done a lot of work.
That tank is like immortal, man. It's like cemented in the ground here, and it's never gonna die.
Yeah, he's done well so far. Oh, he didn't get the SCV up there. My apologies from before. But regardless of that, the Queens try and push on towards this location to have a bit more of a...
What is this?
Stand against it. It's a weird move, but he's got to deal with it. It is deny mining time. The Hellions, though, are going to take this opportunity.
There's a lot of Lynx.
There, the Lynx should be able to fend this off after the Queens were out of position to deal with it.
Snute finally is going to be able to defend, regain map control, but he's sacrificed so much economy to be able to do this. It's 57 drones against 62 SCVs, Skylaris.
And finally that tank will get cleaned up on the left-hand side for a few of these Lings as they were charging on forwards. So good to clean that up, get that economy up and running again. But
look at those minerals. Look at his minerals. Above 1,000 minerals here. He doesn't have a lot of supply blocks here for a moment. Finally starts his +2 melee. A little bit after the car base. He's been thrown off his game here.
The Lynx can't do anything. They can't do anything at the front. Centrifugal Hooks was on the way, as you mentioned, and that will be very important once it comes along. But his creep trap was denied by quite a while. His 2-2 is rocketing ahead, but it's 70 workers to 60. Buddy's economy, once this third base is fully up and running, is going to be amazing.
Snute is the one Zerg you don't want to let comfortably reach 75 drones, because then if that happens, well, you're in a lot of trouble. Bunny has done a fantastic job of slowing down, and he's gonna start dropping left and right, I guess. And while amassing a massive army, he's already adding on another factory here as well. We saw him yesterday, actually. He was against Kane when he kept on making a second, then third factory very quickly, and not only making a bunch of Thors, but Widow Mines as well.
Good movement with those medevacs, making sure that the Queens can't really get the focus fire on the one that is very weak. He's also going for those, and also a drop on the left-hand side as well here. Bunny is really bringing the fight to Snute, making a very good series out of this, and at the moment, Snute is definitely not looking at an easy win. Bunny is doing so well here.
He's starting to pull quite a bit ahead in supply too. He started his own 2-2, he's got a great production behind this. And I mean, you know Bunny, he's not gonna fall asleep and stop macroing anytime soon. Drops down 3 more barracks at his third base. Those medevacs have very low on hit points, actually. He needs to be careful a little bit.
Definitely with the one at the front. If the Queens just get a few more scratches off on it, and then it will end up falling. But
Kailaris, army supply is 84 to 65. This is just massive here for Bunny.
With the Widow Mines mixed in as well. If he slowly encroaches onto the Zerg's territory here.
That's 5 Widow Mines too.
Uh-oh.
And the Spire only starts now. How do you want to shut down these drops?
Almost, he can't go back with that medevac. It would end up dying. I think he may have caught the edge of those Banelings actually morphing in, but there's 2 Widow Mines! Oh, okay, so the Banelings are actually able to catch them. to start things off here in this engagement. Running on back, there's not that many medevacs there to actually get out, and Snute takes a pretty good fight there.
This was really good for Snute. No hesitation. He ran in there, crushed this army. There wasn't enough medevac for a massive pickup. So even though there aren't any mutas, right now he's counter-attacking and trying to inflict a lot of damage to Bunny.
The defense, will it be able to hold on strong? There's only one bunker with a few Marines left over. That is a lot of Zerg powering down on this location. The bunker will end up falling. There's a few more Baneleys left over, rolling into the mineral lines, killing some stuff off, but at the same time we're dropping the third base to try and bring down some of the drones whilst all this is going on.
I mean, this was just crazy. Snute held this attack perfectly, counters attack, is gonna start to pull quite far ahead in supply here. Zerglings are streaming across the map, and he did all that without a Spire Carrier. He's just off of Lynx and Banelings. He had his 2-2 much earlier than Bunny. Bunny's 2-2 is finally gonna complete, but look, the CC! The CC gets cancelled.
The fourth base was under threat and it does get cancelled. Very, very difficult for Bunny to try and recover from the spot that he's found himself in. And the chase back was brilliant here from Snute, realizing that he was able to continue on across the map despite not having the most amazing, fantastic units. He just continued on.
Snute even burrowed the Zergling under the third base of Bunny here, forcing a scan. Really nice little move here. We're gonna force a very important scan because Bunny's down to 53 SCVs against 78 drones. It took some time, but Snute, he finally reached the number of drones that he wanted to get across 4 bases. He's got his saturation. And Bunny, I mean, from this point on, is gonna have to make sure he becomes, you know, more cost effective than he's been with the last few attacks, because he's lost so many units and really hasn't killed much.
That being said, Bunny's not down and out just yet. The Mutalisks are going to be popping soon, and that will be annoying, but Widow Mines are going to go off in this mineral line and kill quite a few. 10 workers end up going down. Another Widow Mine strays into the natural. He's reacting to that one, and a few Lynx will end up dying to it.
Well, apparently Protoss is not the only race that can get dropped by Widow Mines, and sniper or walker Skylights.
Bunny, look at this, pressing the issue through the middle of the map and trying to clear up some of this creep.
32 Banelings, 35 morphing here for Snute.
He's got to be very careful about moving too far forward here. Snute is going to have an amazing army.
35 Banelings, that's so much. There's 46 Marines. He's going to need a great fight here. Bunny. Snute's, you know, being mostly, you know, staying on creep, making sure he waits until Bunny's the one that steps on. Oh, what is this?
Oop.
Needs to be careful here.
Clearing up some of the creep still as...
Is Snute gonna engage as quick as before, you know, on creep? I think he needs to. Like, as soon as Bunny needs, or like start stepping on creep, here we go.
All right, so setting himself up the minefield. A few Banelings move forwards to try and kill off some of those Widow Mines at the front. They do not get either of them that they're connected with. Army supply is dead even at this point. Baneling's going to end up rolling forwards. This is quite a lot of army supply he has available too. That was a lot of Banelings actually dying off though, but not too much at the front there though for Snute. And Bunny will continue to press the issue, but at the same time, he doesn't really have the reinforcements rocketing forwards to help out the frontal force, so he can't go just yet.
And Snute, he was so scared, he pulled all of those queens from all of his bases. There's no queens in the main, no one in the natural. He pulled the girls, unlike the Terrans that pulled the boys, and they're just standing there idle on that third base, doing absolutely nothing right now, not even injecting that one. He's gonna be needing injects here very soon.
The creep has been pushed back just a little bit, and 3-3 is about to finish, so these Marines are going to become a whole lot stronger and a whole lot more powerful whilst he's pushing forwards. Bunny, if he can get all of his units together at the front, he's still on a good economy across those 3 bases. That will continue to wane though. Now that he's got 3-3 done, hasn't taken that 4th base back yet for him.
Clearing off the creep here on the left-hand side, Bunny could, you know, potentially start dropping on the high ground of that 3rd base, but Snute is going for a fight.
And how well are the Banelings going to do at the front? That's the big difference here. This army down to the bottom right is being almost saved, whilst those Banelings to the left-hand side didn't do everything that they needed to. They're very even in supply at the moment. Army supply is also even. If Bunny could just continue reinforcing at the front aggressively and power on, then maybe Snute will be in some trouble.
The trade was better for Snute here once again. There's 2 Lynx. Okay, no, I thought he was going to send that, you know, in the newer base that's Bunny's taking right now. But right now, Snute, his mind is set on defending these waves of units that seemingly, you know, are never ending. Bunny's always sending more and more across the map. He's got a Thor now in the mix as well. Snute's going to need great fights. He's got quite a big flock of mutas, by the way.
Only 4 Widow Mines, only 4 at the moment. They are burrowed in annoying positions here. Banelings are going to try and wrap around the back of this location. The 1-4 gets a good volley off on those Mutalisks to start things. And a nice poke forward there by Bunny to bring down a few of the Banelings, but there's still going to be so many. He's got 19 at the moment, 32 in total get added up to.
Snute transferred a lot of drones on the right-hand side, not to be mining from that third base too much. He's leaving the Queens there. It's a little bit weird at the edge. If he moves off scrape, it's going to be a very, very hard fight to win, especially considering, you know, that Bunny is ahead in army supply by 20.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, he's going to try and go towards his opponent's home, maybe do a bit of damage here with the Mutalisks, try and draw some of that army back. But there are a few Marines here in reinforcement to help on out. It's not going to hold on for too long, though. Snute is more than happy to take that trade.
That Marauder was attacking the CC here for a second. Snute is trying to force a bad engagement from Bunny into him. The Queens are going to start dying here at the third base, but I guess they're useless anyway.
But he believes that this might be an opportunity to do some more damage over at this third base. He drops in the main base. The Mutalisks, where are they? They're coming back to try and fend that off. He knows that he's going to have to deal with these kinds of things. He's expanding all the way down that right-hand side.
Those Mutas are going to catch the Medivac on the right-hand side and shut it down completely.
Good move, good move. Army supply will be very, very close to even.
These army supply are massive. 139 for Bunny, 126 for Snute, who, I mean, his biggest strength is the amount of Banelings that he has. 36 Banelings. Skylar's is going to go for some kind of counter-attack here.
Yeah, he was almost on the warpath. That's a lot of those Lings are killing off the reinforcements.
He's pulling back with the Banelings. He knew that Bunny was going to step on creep, and now he's going to try to get a good engagement on creep. Here we go.
That's not a big army here for Bunny at all. Those Marines are going to have to micro back, but there's a Baneling, 4 Marines there. He actually burrows a few, keeping them alive for later on, potentially. The Widowmines did kill off quite a few of those, but...
Yeah, there was a massive detonation, and actually a big Baneling trap in that position, just around where the Mutas are. Oh my God, if Bunny steps there, I don't even think he's going to be scanning, because there isn't even that much creep. This could be a winning move here against a Bunny who's been going in that location quite many times already.
Another base going to try and go up for Bunny on the left-hand side, while the frontal push is going on. And that's already been blocked, so he will clean it up eventually. But now Bunny realizes his opponent's lifeline is going to be down these angles, and trying to shut down the bases on the outskirts of the Zerg territory could be very good for him.
There was a big Widowmine detonation here in the middle. 15 kills, got a few Banelings and some Zerglings. I can't believe Bunny just rushed to that other base. He knew that it was going to be saturated and that Snute will be out of position. So now Snute, even if he went there and defended it, he already will have lost that base.
The good old 1-2 with the medevac drawing everything out of position. Picks up a hatchery kill. Marauders left at the front to try and soak up some of the Banelings. Snute's not going to let that happen at all, though, there. So a lot of the Banelings moving forwards. Even drones come in for the fight. And he manages to save a lot of the Marines on the right-hand side. The Marauders were doing okay at the front to tank up whatever they could, but he has crushed a lot of that army despite losing that base.
I mean, at this point, being 3-3 here, Bunny, is such a nice thing to have, you know, for your army. Being this well upgraded against a Snute who's stuck on 2-2. Snute, this game, I really don't think he's ever going to start 3-3. And he might be starting to lose patience here.
Difficult. He doesn't find a window to invest the gas and the minerals into all of those. More Banelings get added on. He knows that Bunny is just going to continue to press the issue down that right-hand side of this map.
Oh my God, this base. Goodbye. And the drones as well here.
Difficult to hold. Difficult to hold. How many Banelings does he actually have? He's going to be going up to around 25.
Oh, he's going to attack on the right-hand side with some small chunk of army here. Maybe Snute. There's a few Widowmines in good positions.
Yeah, they are in very good spots. And he splits off just a few more units to go forwards. But he gets the hatchery. This on the left-hand side, he got actually a few missile turrets there. I think there were 2 more, maybe 1 more actually.
Snute realized that he wasn't going to win just by defending the whole game. He needed to do some economic damage. So he went across the map, sniped a few of those units. Just 3 SCVs died. And Bunny... he's looking pretty good here in this game.
What a great game. I mean, from both sides of things. Snute trying to hold on during all of this, and Bunny still pressuring, still trying to find angles to kill off some of his opponent's economy. But the Mutalisk flock has gained a lot of momentum now. It's quite strong. 28 Mutalisks in this. Good drop there by the Marines to shut that down on this right-hand side.
I mean, at this point, Snute's the best chance that he has to win this is if Bunny takes a really bad fight on creep, which is just not happening. Bunny's making sure, you know, to just suffocate his opponents. He's been sniping bases. I was gonna say left and right, but mostly right and right, because they were on the right-hand side. So actually, as I say that, Snute takes another hatchery on the left-hand side. It kind of has like a ninja base. He's gonna long-distance mine out there for now. Oh, this Medivac on the right-hand side.
Bunny's gained a supply advantage though, and he has, you know,
Oh, is he
quite
gonna
the
find
economy
it?
still.
He's flying around. He's demining the fields. Could actually maybe find that.
Yeah, he should be able to. He lost quite a lot of health on those Mutalisks.
Oh,
actually.
he barely doesn't see
wow.
it. Snute. Oh, he's gonna see it.
Okay, that was very, very close. Manages to find that.
Oh,
in
he
the end.
doesn't realize, I think.
No, seemingly not.
Could have gotten that for free. Right now, Bunny is maxed out with an army supply 149 against 124 here for Snute, who's gonna rely on his 30 banelings to win the fight.
He's going to try and catch the reinforcements again. He knows that there will always be a clump here. There are some Widow Mines that could have done some damage if the Mutalisks had strayed too far forward. But Bunny's going to come in from all the both angles actually, and actually a big detonation at the back of the lines here. Kills off the reinforcements, but the Marines charging forwards to try and pin this army back. Oh, the Banelings burrow down and trying to do more damage to these, but still the Mutalisks alone can't. Oh, so many Banelings.
Doesn't finish off these Marines though, and there's quite a few medivacs out there to kill them. In the meantime, a single medivac, the one medivac that Snute saw but ignored, it dropped.
Great, picks up another hat trick here. Bunny really continuing on the pressure. The Mutalisks are really the saving grace here at the moment for Snute, that continue to also put on the pressure on the left-hand side, trying to clean this stuff up. Bunny's not going to let up at all, though. Going over to the left-hand side, 4 Widow Mines in that. If he gets some juicy drone kills with those, he's going to be sitting pretty. Oh, they actually burrow themselves, so he needs to drop a scan.
Oh my god, this is... Snute's income was finally going back up, but now all of a sudden with this drop and more drones being killed, 5 of them, he's gonna start going way down. He's at 1400 against a Terran that's taking another base now once again. That's got quite a few mules available here as well.
That was very cute. He was unburrowing 1 drone at a time up at that location to try and pop all those Widow Mines.
Oh, the PF. The planetary fortress on the left-hand side is not ready.
Pretty vulnerable, pretty vulnerable.
Snute realizes that this is becoming an economic game with not many units left.
A medevac is just going to fly into this and die off instantaneously. So a good pickup of the army there. This planetary fortress ends up dying, but on down to the bottom right-hand side, Bunny has loaded up 2 medevacs. He's going to try and hit the economy lines again, where they are most strong here for Snute. He needs to keep those bases alive.
They are trading blow for blow, going straight for the economy. That's their only goal here, but Snute will come back to the right-hand side and try and defend that base. He's evacuating it with the drones right now.
You can't keep going there with those 2
If he
medevacs.
saves those 2 bases, Snute could win this, but I mean, he's still behind in supply here. He needs a good win, and he's gonna get just that here with this fight with all the mutas.
Good, good. Not exactly the most efficient because he didn't have banelings, but the base up to the top left here for Bunny will be sniped down as Snute is just drawn across the entire map, trying to be aggressive, trying to be defensive. The Mutalisks are really his only tool at the moment. He doesn't have that many Zerglings, he doesn't have many banelings. And Bunny is gathering a strong army once again.
Snute is still getting more mutas to be mobile, so I think he realized that he cannot really just sit back at home and wait and defend. So he wants to be mobile across the map, flying with the mutas, do a lot of damage, and again force a really bad fight. In which case, if he has a lot of banelings and can defend on the creep, he's going to be able to do okay. But right now, Bunny, he has so much. He has 130 army supply to 113, and it's only 13 banelings.
If the Mutalisks die, then it is gone. I mean, if a good chunk of these Mutalisks die, it's all over. Snute has to babysit them. He needs to make sure the Widow Mines aren't in advantageous positions. They've only got 1 upgrades at the moment, which isn't the best situation that could be in at all. But now he knows he's under pressure once again. Over on this right-hand side, needs to keep these bases alive. The Mutalisks aren't going for a counter-attack this time. They're going to have to try and clean this up. He's trying to buy time. He broke the rocks north.
Oh, there's a baneling bomb, actually. There is a baneling bomb with 2 banelings. Just down there. This could do quite a bit of damage, but I mean, even then, the supply of Bunny is just too much.
It's 200 against 150. If he walks any further, he's going to lose a lot of those Marines, but will it even matter? 141 army supply against 100. The Mutalisks, once again, have gone for the base trade situation. Bunny trying to continue on with his pressure as he will get cleaned up on these reinforcements at the back, but I don't know if his army can be stopped at the front, Todd.
Yeah, back at home, Snute's gonna take more damage than he's inflicting on to Bunny right now. Even though he killed a bit of this army, the production of Bunny is massive. He's got turrets on some of his bases against just those mutas. And the banelings on the ground, they're 16. He's getting 2 more. I think Snute's gonna fly back with the mutas and try and defend this massive amount of units here, which is actually a little bit weakened for some of those units.
Bunny doesn't have many of the minerals available to him at all, so if these Marines die up to banelings, as they're here they come once again, the split's gonna need to be good. Some of the banelings crash into that Thor at the top. That's not the best of trades for him at all, as if they survive, these Mutalisks are gonna get shredded, and the Snute, he's lost it there's no way he's going to be able to hold on against this many race. GG, but he will take the series 3-1 here, advancing onto the round of 4. What a series from him, and he says, easy peasy, nah, Snute, because I am going to be moving on. Great performance by Bunny. What a way to move on through the lower half of this bracket, and Snute dejected and destroyed here in the round of 8. Very, very powerful stuff there by Bunny.
A very few good attempts here by Snute to try and come back with some good bailing bombs, but in the end, Bunny having the 3-3 upgrades the whole game really helped him so much, and just too much for a Snute that tried his best.
Well, without further ado, we need to go to that guy who's moved on to the round of 4. Let's head over to Bunny over on the stage with Snix.
Absolutely amazing. Portier, give it up for Bunny. Bunny, that was such a thrilling series. That game 4 was so action-packed, so much back and forth action. Walk us through what happens from your perspective.
I opened with the tank drop and it did some damage. It wasn't too great, but I felt like I got in a pretty good position, and then I followed up with a lot of drops, and I was pretty satisfied with how I was microing, and I felt really comfortable in the game, like I was not really making any mistakes against Banelings or anything. So I felt like the game flowed really well for me, and yeah, that's what happened the whole game.
And looking at the series as a whole, it just seemed that you had Snute's Zerg versus Terran very well figured out. In these types of games where it's a team kill, I feel like it's so difficult because of the mind games. Was the preparation going into this match hard for you?
Yeah, it was very hard. Whenever we play each other, it's always some really weird games. Like only game 4 was like what you could call sort of normal. But we played so many times and we know how each other plays, so that's why the first couple of games was like really quick. There were some weird mind games, especially in the first game on Inferno. I got caught really off guard by the mass roach. Like I thought it was 2-base muta 100%, and then the 30 roaches just showed up, and yeah, I knew I had lost.
Going into your next game, it'll be either 4GG and Pult. And yesterday when we were pulling up the brackets, you actually stated you wanted to play against 4GG. And even if you were to play against Pult, you've beaten him in the past. Most people would think this is a really hard opponent, but what do you think?
I would like to play 4GG, because back when I was like starting out as a pro player in 2013, whenever I would get to a WCS Premier, I would always land in a group with 4GG, and he would always knock me out. So I think it's time for revenge, so I hope he beats Pult.
All right, well, Bunny, last but not least, you've always stated that it's been a dream of yours to win a WCS, and now you're just one game away from being in the finals. You're so, so close. Is this hitting you at all yet?
Yeah, I try not to think about it, just focus on the next match, and that's how you win. Just take one match at a time and prepare the best I can.
All right, well, thank you very much, Bunny. Best of luck in your next game. We're going to be back with our next game, but before we get there, let's head back to our desk of experts.
Thank you very much, Smix. Bunny works on from last season. In 2014, Season 3, he finished in the round of 8, narrowly losing out to San in the round of 8. Now he's at his first semi-final, defeating the best European player, and he puts it out there and tells everybody worldwide that he should be considered the #1 Roddy.
Yeah, man, he already had the head-to-head record against Snute. He's been putting up really good results. He won a Premier League tournament last year. You know, that was up for debate, but that was still a really big victory. But, you know, this is not a round of 32 or a round of 16 victory where they both still advance from the group and we can kind of brush it off like, well, in the end they both advance. Like, no, he is defeating Snute in the quarterfinals of WCS Premier League. Like, this is where it truly matters. You get an opportunity like this once every 3 or 4 months. This is truly like, these are the series that matter the most, and he's done it again.
Yeah, really impressive games by Bunny, and I really like that he throws that challenge out there. He wants revenge on 4GG. Bunny traded some really good TVT series in the last couple of weeks. I was able to watch him play against not only Marine Lord, but Happy in the Fragbite Masters, and he's made it to the top 4 of that tournament through TVT. I'm very interested to see how he's going to prepare, because Pult and 4GG both bring very different styles to the table.
Thoughts here, Fenner?
Yeah, the level of play there from Bunny was insatiable. It was so good. He was all over the place with the drops. He fell behind in that game is what we kind of forgot there. Big push from Snute. He got a massive wraparound on the Marines. Then Snute came in, almost won the game. And then 20 minutes later, Bunny is still going. He's all over the place. He's on the left side of the map pushing. He's on the right side of the map. He's in the main. Just incredible multitasking from Bunny.
Yeah, excellent performance from Bunny. And here's the final moments. He was very, very happy with this. If you remember back to the start of day one in the round of 16 in his intro video for that group, he said that WCS means the world to him. It is the tournament that he made his career in back in 2012. He put himself out there. Even though he didn't win the tournament back then, everyone was like, who the hell is this guy called Bunny? I think I can't remember his ID exactly. Do you remember, Roddy? You got quite a good memory.
Copenhagen Wolves, Bunny?
No, he had an additional name. It was... I can't think to it then, but it was 2012 he made that, and now he's here 2015, one step away from the grand finals. Let's take a look at the bracket just to summarize this up a little bit and look towards our next map. It is going to be 4GG versus Pult. The only WCS champion in this tournament, the only two-time champion Pult, must defeat the Terran versus Terran Master in our next quarterfinals. Winner of that goes up against Bunny. We're going to go to a very quick commercial break, but right now, we are going to see which is the strongest region in the new WCS.
I think the strongest region right now is definitely America, because we have Hydra and we have Pult.
Yeah, it's going to be Europe, because if you look at this region right now, what we've got going on here, we've got Kane, and that's pretty much it.
We have me. So I think that it's no question that America is definitely the next up-and-coming biggest region.
Except for the Koreans coming in from the American region as well. But I think the Europeans are looking pretty strong right now. I'm on the Cyril hype train, actually.
Very